It is my duty, personally, to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and record here my gratitude to Him for the grace He bestowed on Palestinians. And when I talk about Palestinians, I exclude the Palestinian authorities, their gangsters and their supporters. That grace He bestowed on the Palestinians and all oppressed Muslims on earth in relation to this verse of the Quran. Whatever grace Allah opens up to man, none can withhold it. And whatever He withholds, none other than Him can release. This verse is present with Palestinians since November 1917, and they never give up on the grace of Allah. Their brothers in Islam abandoned them and accused them of selling their lands, even though the world is witnessing the annexing of Palestinian lands on a daily basis until today. And mostly of these brothers are among the Arabs. I personally have not heard a Muslim, non-Arab, saying these things about the Palestinians. They got accused by their brothers in Islam that they do not, obviously mostly Arabs, that the Palestinians do not defend their land, even though Palestinians die every day because of resisting occupation and oppression since 1917. Palestinians and Chinese Muslims and Burmese Muslims in Myanmar and the Syrians, the Iraqis, the Kashmiris, and many oppressed Muslims around the world are living compounded difficulties, experiencing spiritual dryness, psychological hardship, and much affliction. It is this verse what Allah grants to mankind of mercy or grace that none can withhold it, comes to their support. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala facilitated for them that they should see its truth. This is what been taught all my life by my dad and my granddads, and I am the 4th generation and my kids are the 5th generation, and this is what I teach them. The truth about this verse, which poured into their spirit, our spirit as Palestinians, like a cool drink passing through the limbs of an extremely thirsty person. That is not a meaning they understand, rather it's a reality we are experiencing, especially those in the occupied lands. And I'm talking all historic Palestine. Thus it was in itself an act of grace that they understand. This verses in Surah Fatir that I read is delivered its meaning as a sweet reality to them. They taste the sweetness of Allah's mercy and grace, showing them its inner self. It's as if this ayah is telling them, I am here, a sample of Allah's grace when He opens it. They feel that sweetness. Nothing changed around them. Nothing changed around the Palestinians. But everything underwent a fundamental change in their appreciation. We know as Palestinians, we cannot win against the terrorist Zionist entity alone. We understood that it is written on Palestine to be the translator of the status of the state of the Muslim nations. It's written on us to be the compass, al-busala of the Muslim Ummah, the compass. So the way the situation of the Muslim Ummah is, it reflects on the Holy Land of Palestine. The Muslim Ummah walked away from the Quran and the Sunnah because they thinking it's backward. They don't want to go back. They are indulged so much in nationalism, right? And this reflects on the loss of Palestine, the Holy Land of Palestine. It's like Sultan Abdul Hamid, may Allah have mercy on his soul, said, if Palestine goes down, the whole Muslim Ummah will go down. So when I hear, and we all know, that Palestine is mentioned in the Quran as a holy land, as an entire Palestine is a holy land. This is the honor Palestine has in the Quran. So it's this ayat in the Quran about the Palestine being a holy land, and many hadiths Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam where he honors the Palestinians. And for the lack of time, I will mention only one hadith where he described the Palestinians عصبة من أمتي, a group of my nation. لا يضرهم من خذلهم. It does not harm them who disappoints them or who leaves them alone. ظاهرين على الحق إلى أن تقوم الساعة. That they will always be standing by the truth until the day of judgment. And when he was asked, who are they, Ya Rasulullah? He said, Bayt al-Maqdisi wa aknafi Bayt al-Maqdis, the people of, or the occupants of, or live in the Holy Land of Jerusalem and its surroundings. And the ulama explained the surroundings is the entire Palestine, and some other ulama explained it includes actually the entire Levant, Bilad al-Sham, or the Greater Syria area, which is Syria, Jordan, Palestine, and Lebanon. Right? So either explanation includes all Palestine. So this is the honor, the grace, and the grace that the Palestinians understood from the Quran and the Sunnah. Between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that the Palestine, the Holy Land, and the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam honoring the Palestinians in all his and a lot of his hadiths about Jerusalem, to them that sufficed them. Allah and his Rasul sufficed them. So when people, specifically Arabs, come and tell us that they are exhausted of our problems, they are sick and tired of hearing about the Palestinian plight, I tell them, Palestinians tell them, we are sick and tired and exhausted of you being a pessimist, of you being self-defeated, of you being mentally defeated, of you being like in a state of self-surrender all the time, saying, what is it to me? Like Al-Sheikh Yahya Effendi, as explained last time in the khutbah of manhood, when he told Sultan Suleiman al-Qanuni that when people reach to that level, when they say it's none of our business and they don't care about things that are wrong, about tyranny and oppression and these things, Allah will destroy them. This is what happened to you. This is what happened to the Muslim nation. Disregarding your duties as Muslims. We don't need you. Palestinians only believe in the grace of Allah. Believe they are honored in the Quran and in Sunnah. It suffices us. Allah and His Messenger suffice us. We don't need anybody else. Just worry about yourself. Purify and cleanse yourself. And once you do that, as a whole nation, as a Muslim nation, Arabs or non-Arab, the prize for it will be the freedom of Palestine as a foregone conclusion. يعني حاصل تحصيل. Palestinians understand from the Quran and the Sunnah and from our predecessors scholars that it was always, it is, and will always be al-fadiha wal-kashifa. It's the spotlight and what exposes the scandalous behaviors and the sinful behaviors and how bad are the state of the Muslims of that time or of today. They are the ones. So they are not the ones. Palestine would refuse, cannot come back under nationalism or democracy or communism or capitalism or all these isms that negates the teaching of the Quran and the Sunnah. Palestine will only come back under La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So once you cleanse yourself and go back to our roots, to who we really are, خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ, the best nation came to mankind, Palestine automatically will be free. So don't worry about us, we don't need you. Allah and His messengers suffice us. Just worry about yourselves. Don't pity us, pity yourselves. Because we feel and taste the sweetness of Allah's grace, something that the majority of the Muslims today don't even understand or feel the taste of it. They are deprived of it. They are not even seeking it. The Palestinians of today, they are among the few good men and women left in these Muslim nations. They are the honors of these Muslim nations and defending Muslims and Islam. Men, women, children, young and elderly. Palestinians and all oppressed Muslims all over the world are experiencing a spiritual thrill while they are still in the same place and miserable situation, because Allah grants to mankind, what Allah grants to mankind of grace or mercy, then none can withhold it. They taste it, they feel it, they experiencing it every day. That is Allah's grace which He opens to anyone Allah chooses and makes it overflow in just one verse of the Quran. One verse opens a window of light, lets a spring of divine grace gush through, charts a way to contentment and reassurance, and all in a split seconds. So for you, all what you should do or concern yourself with, not about when the truth is gonna triumph, when victory is gonna come to us as Muslims, as much as what you should be concerned about is to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while you are still with the people of the truth and never give up on them. Us Palestinians, over 100 years, it's 102 years since November 1917. We never give up. Why are you giving up, Ummat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This is when I make this dua. Allahumma ya hayyu ya qayyum ya qawi ya nasir. Oh Allah, the ever-living, the self-subsisting, the one who gives victory. Our Lord, you have bestowed this Quran from on high to provide guidance and grace to believers. Our Lord, we praise you with our tongues and hearts, and our gratitude to you is without limit. أغيث المسلمين المستضعفين في الأرض. Help those Muslims who are vulnerable, weak, and oppressed on earth. These vulnerable Muslims on earth cannot change their circumstances. We Palestinians cannot change our situations, our circumstance. It's always going to be like that as long as you Muslims are heedless and away from the Quran and the Sunnah. We cannot change this situation, but we changed our perspective, and that's what you need to do. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Ask Allah for forgiveness. He's the most forgiving, the most merciful.